Celebrities have been having their faces stolen for years, whether it was a lookalike on Hollywood Boulevard,
about the season finale last night, and there was shit.
a parody of them in a movie. Or more recently, a fake version of them eating a burrito in a park.
He's eating a burrito like he's eating corn on the cob or playing harmonica.
Or a hologram of them performing an entire concert after they died. All of this is nothing new.
The President of the United States is the head of state and head of government of the United States, indirectly elected to a 4-year term by the people through the Electoral College. The office holder leads the executive branch of the federal government and is the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces.
Now, note that this is not the first technique to achieve results like this.
Even before deepfakes, you've probably seen the basic system at work.
They say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. The first problem was to make a move. Come on, presto, move. That's it. Come on, show off. Rear back and show off your chest. That's it. That's proud. Just as we had to learn to make our animated cartoons talk, we had to find a way to make these characters talk too. Now, to accomplish this, we created a new type of animation. So new that we had to invent a new name for it.
Audio animatronics?
Right, audio animatronics.
Hollywood has had the wherewithal for decades to produce computer-generated fakes, like in the movie Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks meeting with John F. Kennedy.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
It's what powers those goofy Snapchat filters where you can have the googly eyes or demon face. The tech behind this, face detection, is not exactly a new technology. Even old digital cameras had this feature. In 2001, Paul Viola and Michael Jones proposed a real-time face detection system, now known as the Viola-Jones Object Detection Framework. Basically, this framework allows machines to easily detect faces by using the differences in brightness between pixels. Today, we still use this basic premise, but there are many new steps that have been added. Together, they combine to create computer vision. The Viola-Jones part is used for high-level detection of the basic markers of a face, but Snapchat trained their system on many hundreds of faces that were manually marked with points to show the borders of lips, eyes, nose, and face. The trained application can then take a point mask and shift it to match your individual face, based on the data that it's getting from your camera at 24 frames per second.
Click the dots, la 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 la, click the dots, la 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 la. Hey!
This is all so you can keep those dog ears in place, or do that face swap.
Oh, there you are. Just keep laughing.
Snapchat's technology was mostly built on the experience gained by a Ukrainian company, Luxury, in 2015, and it cost them $150 million to acquire.
These are not hobgoblins. Oh, tea!
Things have advanced rapidly. We know that film studios have been able to swap faces for years. Oliver Reed did it for some scenes in Gladiator, and a young Carrie Fisher appeared again in Star Wars Rogue One. But for these, the process is long and expensive. Today though, free apps like FakeApp make CGI face mapping a simple tool that almost anyone can operate. To drive this point home, here's a side-by-side video comparison of Princess Leia in Rogue One. One sequence was painstakingly made at a cost likely in the hundreds of thousands, with the use of an insanely expensive computer. The other one was done in 30 minutes by an average guy on an average computer, for free. Yes, there's obviously differences, but honestly, are those differences worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Now it's possible to map one face onto another face in real-time video, using just images. A video is just a collection of rapidly changing images at around 24 to 30 times a second, so this makes sense when you think about it.
Deepfakes do acquire a lot of existing photos or videos of a person.
Field. The newest iterations of fake videos are not only headshots that are being manipulated, but actually full body manipulation.
And one of these fake videos includes me. I'm not a very good dancer. Let's just say, I'm no Bruno Mars. Well, actually, I can be. Detector Pose software scans Mars movements and then renders my video to make my limb movements match his. The dance video was synthesized by 3 Berkeley students and overseen by a computer science professor.
The whole thing is just getting like super creepy, but going to the CIA and the deep state and the fake news, we understand that they can do deep fakes now. If you're not familiar with deep fakes are basically like AI renderings, CGI. I'm sure you guys have all seen that Will Smith commercial where he's like, not even him, and he's like in front of the beach and the background comes off and his face like changes. So we have to understand this stuff is a real thing. There are such things as deep fakes. There is such thing as AI rendering, bro. For anyone who says the Marham video can't be a deep fake, let me remind you that this is not Tom Cruise with Paris Hilton. Watch this.
Paris, I don't want to be late to this premiere. We gotta go.
You should always run fashionably late. It's your night.
You're so absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
How do I look? Am I all ready to go?
No. Looking very sharp, Mr. Cruz.
I think we're really gonna wow the world.
And people are really gonna believe that we're a couple?
I think most people will believe.
Story of my life.
All right, now we're just gonna dive into this, right?
Yeah, that sounds.
We're getting to a point now where there is artificial intelligence software that can effectively take the hard work out of making a fake that looks lifelike.
AI is making the manipulation of audio and video cheaper and more sophisticated. And as this AI becomes more open source, it's more accessible to more people who can then create more believable videos. This tech can do some pretty wonderful things. It can help you create awesome artwork and make some pretty good CGI scenes without a Hollywood studio. It can even add Nicolas Cage to any movie scene.
Technology like this cuts down the cost and effort by many orders of magnitude, putting powerful tools in the hands of the everyday person.
But as a concerned citizen,
one of the 400,000 people who marched in the streets of New York on Sunday,
and the billions of others around the world who want to solve our climate crisis.
As an actor, I pretend for a living. I play fictitious characters, often solving fictitious problems.
I believe that mankind has looked at climate change in that same way, as if it were fiction.
As if pretending that climate change wasn't real would somehow make it go away. But I think
not as an expert.
What you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I'm not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel? I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality. Now, what do you see?
She's got such a nice face. Her eyes, her mouth, nose.
We know what a face consists of.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Terry, Elaine, I give you Janet.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hi. Do we still have time to make the movie?
Oh, yeah, we just can't go to the supermarket to get some candy.
Terry, she looks exactly like you.
She does not.
Hey, George. And you must look exactly like Jerry.
You didn't see this?
Oh, you're like twins. Woo! This is eerie.
Grandma, what are you talking about? What? Janet doesn't look anything like Jerry.
Well, maybe we do look a little like each other.
No, what do you know about what you look like?
Come on, George, relax. Just because they look alike, that doesn't mean you're secretly in love with Jerry.
All right, we're going now. Bye-bye.
We just got here, George.
Well, it's getting dark.
More often than not, the award-winning visual effects are the ones which eventually become the film's most unique selling point. And in the last 2 decades, Hollywood has been the torchbearer of the VFX world, which has largely succeeded on the big screen in making the impossible world seem possible. Many films today use a combination of visual effects, CGI, and special effects to create dazzling imagery. But what is the difference between these 3 fields? Cue the effects.
Yes?
Since the beginning, movies have made the impossible seem possible with a variety of camera tricks and optical illusions. Today, these illusions are typically achieved through VFX, CGI, and special effects. But it's become increasingly difficult to tell which is which. Take this shot. Can you tell which elements were captured on set and which were added in post-production? The answer may surprise you. Though the terms are often used interchangeably, special effects, VFX, and CGI are all distinct elements. Today, the term CGI specifically has become controversial, with filmmakers emphasizing they use CGI sparingly or not at all.
And everything you see in this film, obviously, it's for real.
This may be because CGI is misunderstood.
Using CGI again as that catch-all term. When people say something like something feels overly CGI, and they have an affinity or they really want things to go back to being practical.
There you are. There you are. Knowing these differences allows us to become more literate about the medium and appreciate the various artists who join forces to give us unforgettable experiences. Special effects are elements that are physically created on set.
Special effects really relates to things that you still can't really just go out and shoot easily, but that require some sort of practical effects, but often done on set.
Today, SFX largely refers to mechanical effects. Mechanical effects are elements created in front of the camera, also called practical effects. This can be as simple as fake rain, or fog from a fog machine, referred to as atmospheric effects. But they can also refer to pyrotechnics, explosions, roaring fires created in a controlled manner. Other forms of mechanical effects include animatronics and prosthetic makeup.
I'd like to kiss you goodbye.
All right, but you're so damn ugly.
Special effects have existed since the birth of cinema and continue to be used to this day. Let's look at what came not long after, visual effects. Visual effects, or VFX for short, are effects added to imagery captured during production. VFX can include CGI, but also refers to a plethora of other techniques. Visual effects have been used since early cinema. George Méliès used them in 1902 by employing multiple exposures in his film One Man Band. VFX then advanced to optical effects like forced perspective and optical printers. Today, most visual effects are done digitally. VFX can take many forms. There is compositing, combining 2 or more images into one shot.
Say hello to Buckbeak.
In RoboCop, for example, the Ed 209 is a stop-motion object composited onto shots of the boardroom. This was done using an optical printer. Because it involves two shots of non-digital entities, the final image is a visual effect, but not CGI. A common form of compositing today is the green or blue screen, which allows visual effects artists to more easily remove elements of live-action footage using chroma keying. The backgrounds can be replaced with anything, like a live-action plate or a CGI landscape. Today, VFX can include virtual production techniques as seen here, where an LED screen provides a background that moves in relation to the camera. This requires VFX work before shooting, where artists will create the interactive background. It may also require VFX after shooting as well. VFX can be used to remove objects from a frame, also called a paint-out. Motion capture, rotoscoping are also visual effects. Before CGI, rotoscoping was done by animators who would use reference footage to draw realistic movements. Today, a computer will map digital imagery onto live-action footage.
I have coded notes here, which may be of some interest to you. My own chronology is very difficult to...
Visual effects cover a wide realm of manipulation, including CGI. Any visual element in a film that has been solely created digitally. This includes cities, vehicles, or even entire characters.
I know you can't understand me, but put down the stapler or I will electrocute you.
With computer-generated imagery, you can create anything or recreate anything, just about. There's almost no end to what you can do with CGI.
Some shots are completely done with CGI, like this moment from WALL-E. But did you know that this shot also is 100% computer-generated? In many cases, CGI can be blended with live-action footage. For example, in this shot from Paddington 2, Paddington is CGI, but the entire frame is not. So, when a filmmaker claims there is no CGI in their film, there may still be a plethora of digital VFX, it just isn't computer-generated imagery. CGI is a relatively recent addition to the filmmaker's toolkit, and is rapidly evolving. It was first used in Westworld in 1973, though the graphics were only 2D. 3D CGI and features came nearly a decade later, with films like Tron and The Young Sherlock Holmes. Today, computer-generated imagery can be nearly indistinguishable from live-action footage. Making shots with CGI believable requires a lot of work.
Where's go? John Lennon.
The creation of the effects themselves requires multiple departments. While VFX, CGI, and special effects all have distinct meanings, they are typically used in combination. Let's look at one such example in 1917.
Hey, come in. Bring your kit.
Yes, Sarge.
Sam Mendes' 1917 is a testament to the power of CGI, VFX, and special effects being used in tandem. The film feels grounded and real, but utilizes a combination of effects throughout the film to create visuals that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. The plane crash sequence epitomizes this approach. The unique challenge presented to them was making the complex sequence appear to be one shot. They relied on stitching, a visual effect that joins two takes to appear as one continuous shot. Thus, 1917's plane crash sequence showcases CGI with the plane and barn, additional VFX with extensive stitching and compositing, and special effects with pyrotechnics and mechanical effects of the practical plane.